There is a bad memories that I still remember to this day. It was a story back in my high school. There's a new student in my class, and I never forget about it. Monday mornings were never easy. Mr. Evans was going on about something from history, but I couldn't focus. My attention kept drifting to the new kid in the back row. There is a new student named Aaron. Aaron had only been in our class for a few days. He was quiet, kept to himself. I'd noticed him a few times, but we hadn't spoken yet. Something about him seemed off, but I figured it was just nerves from being the new kid. Our teacher, Mr. Evans, said that we have a group project and start to pairing up the students. I think about the group projects is just what I needed. Hopefully, I'd get someone who actually cared about their grade. Then, Mr. Evans said I got paired up with Aaron. Great. I guess it was time to finally talk to him. I could feel everyone's eyes on us, probably wondering the same thing I was. The class ends, and the students start packing up. I tried to approach Aaron, who was slowly putting his books in his bag. I said, "Hey, Aaron. Looks like we're partners. Want to meet up after school to work on the project?" Aaron looks up, his expression neutral but his eyes slightly distant. He said, "Sure. After school works." His voice is calm, but there's something almost eerie about the way he says it. I can feel a brief chill but pushes the feeling aside. There was something strange about the way he agreed. But maybe he was just nervous. I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. The school day ends. The rain has started, pattering softly against the windows, and the library is nearly empty. I waited for Aaron in the library. The place was almost deserted, which made the wait feel even longer. I checked my watch, and when he didn't show up, I figured I'd go find him. I leave the library and walks through the dimly lit, deserted hallways. The rain outside grows heavier, and the lights flicker occasionally. The school felt different after hours. The hallways were too quiet, and the flickering lights made everything feel off. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I reached the classroom where I had class earlier. The door is slightly ajar, and a faint light is coming from inside. I thought maybe Aaron was still in there, waiting. The door was open just enough to make it feel like he was expecting me. I pushed it open and stepped inside. Inside, the classroom is dimly lit by a single flickering light bulb. Aaron is sitting at his desk in the back, staring at the chalkboard. I said, "Aaron, you all right? I was waiting in the library, but you never showed." Aaron turns around slowly, his expression blank but his eyes unusually dark. There's something unsettling about his demeanor. He said, "I'm sorry, I needed to be alone for a bit." He looked different. There was something in his eyes, something that made my skin crawl. But I pushed the thought away, figuring I was just reading into things too much. I sit down at a desk nearby. I said, "No worries. We can start working on the project now if you're up for it." Aaron doesn't respond immediately. Instead, he continues to stare at the chalkboard, his expression unreadable. And suddenly he whispered, "Do you believe in ghosts?" I said, "I don't know. Why do you ask?" He said, "Because sometimes they're closer than you think. Sometimes they're right in front of you, and you don't even know it." The lights suddenly flicker, and the room grows colder. I got shivers, feeling an icy dread creeping up their spine. Damn, my heart was racing. Aaron's words, the cold, the flickering lights, it all felt too real, too intense. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't just run out. Not without knowing what was going on. Before I can respond, the door to the classroom slams shut, and the lights go out completely, plunging the room into darkness. "Aaron, what's happening?" I said. There's no response, just silence. Then, faintly, the sound of footsteps approaching from behind. I could hear someone or something coming closer. My mind was screaming at me to move, but I was frozen in place. A cold hand suddenly grabs my shoulder, and they spin around, only to come face to face with nothing. The room is empty. "Aaron, where are you?" I said. The lights flicker back on, revealing the classroom as it was before except for one thing. Aaron is gone, and his desk is empty, vanished without a trace. My head was spinning. What had just happened? I was shaken and confused. I stumbles out of the classroom and into the hallway, which is dimly lit and eerily silent. As I walk down the hall, I suddenly hear someone calling my name from behind. "Hey, sorry I'm late. I got caught up in something," he said. I turned around slowly, my heart pounding. Standing there, perfectly normal, Aaron, the real Aaron, looking exactly as he did earlier that day. My blood ran cold. The person I had just been talking to, the person in the classroom that wasn't Aaron, couldn't have been. But if it wasn't him, then who or what was it? Aaron looked at me, concerned by my terrified expression, and said, "Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." I stares at him, too shocked to speak, my mind racing with the horrifying realization that the real Aaron had just arrived and whoever I were with before wasn't human. I didn't know what to say, what to do. But after that day, nothing strange ever happened again to me in the class. Even I still be friends with Aaron to this day. But I could only think about one thing. Who or what had I been talking to in that classroom back then?